In this section, we're going to look at covert anchoring. We're going to have a brief glimpse into it because we can really dive into it. And I tend to only teach that sort of level when I'm teaching one-on-one, so I get a good grasp of who it is I'm teaching to. Because like a lot of things in NLP, they can be misused. So in this, I'm just going to sort of give you an idea and an overview of how to use some covert anchoring methods. So first question is, well, why would you want to use covert anchoring? Well, initially, one of the best ways is because you can do conversational change work. There are some situations, like for those people who work in business, you can't just elicit a state and then walk up to your boss and go, every time you feel this, you'll have an overwhelming desire to give me a raise. That may not work all that well. You may get thrown out very, very quickly. So you need to have a way of doing anchoring in other systems other than just tactile anchors. So what we can do is to start thinking creatively about this. How could we do this? Because again, many of us are also working over Zoom. We don't have the ability to touch the person on the wrist or the shoulder or whatever. So maybe if we have some ways of doing that, that would be good. So let's look at some of the basic things that we can do. So one of the things we know from studying NLP is about timeline organization. That people tend to have their time organized in a certain way, and their past goes off one way and their future goes off another way, or behind them or in front of them. Now, what could we do with that? Well, if we know, for example, a person's past is over here and their future is over here, when we're talking about their problem, and obviously we want to dissociate them from their problem and put it in their past, when we know that their past is over here, we can anchor the past with a gesture, and then as we start talking about their problem, we can fire the anchor at that point in time. And so what's happening is that they'll start thinking about it as something they used to do. So that's one use of a covert anchor. If we want to talk about their future, we can start gesturing off over here if we know that's where their future is. So we can set up these things, so there was a problem you had in the past, but now as you begin to look forward into the future, you can begin to see the future brightening up, all those sorts of things. So we can start using gestures in that way. One of the other things we can do is if we elicit, say for example, some of you probably have looked at the NLP belief change model. Now in the NLP Submodality belief change model, what you do is you elicit a belief that they want to change, that they currently believe but they wish they didn't. Once you've done that, the next thing you do is elicit a belief that they used to believe about themselves that is no longer true. So for example, I used to ride a chopper bike when I was a teenager. I don't now. That was something I used to do. Now, if I was to access that and you see my eyes go up, oh yeah, my chopper, yeah, I used to love that. Yeah, my eyes are up here. You know that that's where I'm accessing that point. That, for me, in that context, is something that used to be true, but now no longer is. So if I'm the therapist and I'm sitting opposite myself, I could see where those eyes go and go, oh, say this is something that's no longer true. I mean, it used to be true for you, but it isn't now. Is that right? And they go, and they're looking at that point and going, yeah, that's right, yeah. Now, what can we do with that? Well, how about taking their problem and putting it in the location of something that's no longer true? What about taking all their excuses and putting them in the location of something that's no longer true? So literally, okay, and as you think about making that excuse, that's just something you used to do, isn't it? That was something you just used to do. But now as you look about it, that's not you now. And you can use suggestion, but really create, fire off the anchor so that the excuse that they're currently using suddenly now becomes no longer true. So you can drop that right into the location of something that's no longer true. And this is the kind of power of submodalities, of location and of gestural anchoring. So that could be something, Now, what if we had something that we found out something that was true, that they really, so for example, do you believe the sun's going to come up tomorrow? They go, oh yeah, we can find the location of something that they absolutely believe like that. Then we can put in their ability to create the change that they want and put it in that location as well. So this is how we can begin to start using covert anchoring. We can gesture to the past, the future, something that was no longer true, something that is true, fire those off. Really useful way of using covert anchoring. There's more to learn on this. And if we meet up and we do a training together, I'll cover some more on that then.